So picture this. It's the BET Awards 2025. Everyone's tuned in for the usual razzle-dazzle, red carpet glitz, viral performances, maybe a scandalous outfit or two, but nobody, and I mean nobody, expected Tyler freaking Perry to take that stage and light it up. Not with fireworks, but with straight-up truth bombs. And guess who those bombs were aimed at? Yep, Meghan Markle. Let's take it all the way back, shall we? It's 2020. Meghan and Harry had just dropped the royal mic, said peace out to the palace, and were basically floating in uncertainty. Who swoops in like a guardian angel? Tyler Perry. Not only did he hand over the keys to his $18 million 0-cent Beverly Hills mansion, he also covered their security bills, kept them safe, and even made sure they had peace to breathe. Like, Tyler went above and beyond. Everyone thought, wow, that's loyalty, that's kindness. But what we didn't see, what was brewing quietly underneath? Oh, honey, it was a whole different story. Because according to people very close to Perry, that friendship started morphing into something entirely transactional. A one-way street where Meghan kept taking and Tyler kept bleeding. Emotionally and financially. Fast forward to that BET stage. Tyler didn't name names. He didn't have to. He told a story about opening his home, giving someone his trust, and being ghosted the minute he wasn't useful anymore. His exact words? Some folks borrow blessings like they're owed, but never return the favor. Oof. You could feel the chill sweep through the room. Everyone knew who he was talking about. Now here's the tea behind the scenes. This speech didn't come out of nowhere. Oh no, sis, this was a long time coming. Insiders say the final straw was Meghan casually asking to borrow Tyler's private jet, as if it were an Uber. When he politely said no, not because he couldn't afford it, but because he felt used, Meghan allegedly flipped out. And that was the moment he said enough. People close to Perry started to open up, and the picture they painted, not cute. Apparently producers, staffers, friends, they'd all warned him. Meghan doesn't return favors, she collects them, uses them, then disappears. Tyler had ignored all the red flags because, well, he truly wanted to help. But when the millions started rolling in from Netflix and Spotify and not even a thank you card came his way, the mask slipped. So when Tyler grabbed that mic, he wasn't just giving a speech, he was starting a reckoning. Meghan built her entire public image on being misunderstood, silenced, oppressed. But Tyler, he was none of those things. He was the guy who had her back. And now he was done. The shockwave, immediate. Meghan and Harry had just begun pitching their shiny new documentary about, get this, power and freedom. But after Tyler's speech, and when he shades you, especially after once being your ride or die, it's career crushing. Period. By the very next morning, the Meghan Harry Netflix project started crumbling. A major producer pulled out immediately. One investor told reporters, I'm not putting my name on something that feels this toxic. This wasn't about a pitch, it was about reputation. And Meghan's was in flames. And what did Meghan's PR team do? They scrambled hard, trying to spin the narrative, calling up media outlets, offering exclusives, interviews, footage. Heck, they even considered launching a rebuttal podcast. But sis, nobody was buying it. Reporters said it reeked of desperation. The more they tried to cover it up, the worse it got. Like, what exactly are you hiding, Meg? And here's where it gets even messier. Because girl, this rabbit hole goes deep. Friends of Perry said he'd been wrestling with this decision for months. He didn't want to go public. He was exhausted. But what pushed him over the edge? Meghan allegedly used his name without his permission in a pitch meeting, trying to make it seem like he was funding her next venture. Oh no, she didn't. When word got back to Perry, he was livid. That's when he decided, no more silence. Not to be petty, but to protect his name from being dragged into her manipulative web. And baby, once Tyler broke the silence, the floodgates burst. Former assistants started talking, producers came forward. One even said Meghan's obsession with perfection choked the life out of every idea. She didn't want collaborators, they said. She wanted yes men. Even Oprah's camp, crickets. Not one word of support, not a single whisper in her defense, just space. And if Oprah's walking away quietly, you know it's serious. One of Meghan's own former staffers called Archwell's environment where gratitude goes to die. Brutal. Another insider said Meghan controlled every narrative, demanded blind loyalty, and punished anyone who disagreed. Sound familiar? Hollywood started backing away like she had the plague. Executives whispered about how exhausting it was to deal with her team. One said working with them was like playing chess with a mirror. Nothing ever reflected back truthfully. Woo! And then came the numbers. A recent poll showed Meghan and Harry's favorability in the US dropped by over 30% in a year. In the UK, they were already written off, but now the backlash had gone global. Sponsors ran, potential partners ghosted. Meghan's empire crumbling. And guess what? Through all of this, Harry remained silent. Some say he's trying to save what little public goodwill they have left. Others believe he's just tired, emotionally drained, watching their inner circle fall apart while clinging to a ship that's rapidly sinking. And what did Meghan do in response to Tyler's speech? She allegedly fired off furious texts, accusing him of betrayal, humiliating her, and destroying her family's legacy. But Tyler? He didn't even respond. That silence, looter than any words. Insiders say Tyler's silence wasn't cold. It was freedom. After years of being emotionally cornered, giving endlessly, and staying loyal to someone who treated loyalty like a credit card, he was done. Now let's talk about what happened after the mic drop. Tyler didn't clap back. He didn't do a follow-up interview. He didn't post a vague tweet. He just let the truth simmer. And the Hollywood grapevine? Baby, it lit up like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone had a story. A veteran publicist revealed Meghan's team had blacklisted journalists who dared to ask unscripted questions. One ex-consultant at Archwell's shared that Meghan flat out ignored strategic advice. If it didn't fit her personal fairy tale, it didn't make the cut. And the vibes inside Archwell? A place where gratitude went to die. Yikes. Even people who usually stay silent started speaking up. Studio execs whispered how draining it was dealing with Meghan's team. Every meeting turned into a performance. Nothing was real, one said. Everything was spin. Every sentence had an angle. It was like working with someone who only wanted to hear applause. And if you didn't clap, you were cut. And the dominoes kept falling. Quietly, but publicly. Deals once greenlit were suddenly on hold. Meghan's calls not getting returned. Emails left unread. The vibe around her, radioactive. Studios, sponsors, producers, they weren't just ghosting her. They were warning others not to get too close. And just when you thought it could get worse, the numbers came out. A poll revealed that Meghan and Harry's support in the US had nosedived, over 30% gone in under a year. And in the UK, the damage had been done long ago, but now even America was backing away, fast. Sponsorships that once lined up with open checkbooks started pulling out. Collaborators who used to rave about working with the progressive royals, silent. Some deleted tweets. Others removed their names from public project listings. Behind closed doors, Meghan was spiraling. Sources say her team started weekly crisis meetings. Weekly? Budget freezes, paused hires, and endless brainstorming sessions on how to shift the narrative. But nothing worked. Nothing stuck. The story had changed, and this time, she wasn't in control of it. Even her fans, the loyal ones, grew quiet. Those hashtags that once trended in her favor, now hijacked by criticism and memes. People started asking hard questions. Was Meghan ever really the victim, or just a master manipulator playing the part? And for Meghan, who had so carefully built a brand around being the misunderstood underdog, the bold feminist voice, the anti-peg warrior, this was a total identity meltdown. The image she painted so perfectly cracked, the foundation crumbling. Even the media, who once scrambled to publish glowing op-eds and royal exposés in her favor, suddenly didn't want to touch her. Not with this much smoke. But where there's this much smoke, you know there's a 5-alarm fire somewhere under it. The word inside Hollywood became, stay out of Meghan's orbit. She was no longer the power symbol. She was the red flag. Her empire? Not just shaking, it was teetering on collapse. And where was Harry through all of this? Sitting in the eye of the storm, silent. Rumors say he's been really trying, to salvage what's left. A few closed-door meetings, some discreet outreach, but others say he's just numb. Numb from the endless battles with the media, the family fallout, and now this. Watching the last few people who supported them walk away, one by one. Let's not forget, it wasn't just about Tyler Perry. His truth-telling opened the door for everyone else to say what they'd been holding in. His quiet strength gave people permission to finally admit Meghan wasn't empowering. She was draining, not uplifting, but calculated. And the loyalty she demanded never returned. And here's the kicker, the most savage twist in the entire saga. Meghan tried to flip the script. She told close friends Perry was jealous, old school, out of touch. She accused him of trying to control her. She even said, allegedly, that Tyler wanted to leverage her name to stay relevant. But baby, Tyler Perry doesn't need anyone to stay relevant. He's built billion-dollar empires, launched franchises, studios, and careers. He didn't need her name. She needed his. And when he finally pulled the plug, when he said, "I'm done," the silence around him was louder than any tabloid headline Meghan could spin. Because here's what people in power respect: quiet, strategic truth. Tyler didn't come out swinging. He didn't drop screenshots or leak receipts. He just told his story with grace, pain, and finality. And that made it lethal because it wasn't just a moment. It was a pattern. And in Hollywood, patterns are everything. People don't just remember your success, they remember how you got there. And if that journey is paved with manipulation, entitlement, and unpaid debts, emotional and otherwise, oh honey, they'll drop you so fast your team won't even have time to refresh your pitch deck. So where does Meghan stand now? Well, she's furious. That much is clear. Furious that the narrative got away from her. Furious that someone she once saw as her biggest ally is now her loudest silence. Furious that Tyler's quiet honesty spoke louder than all her crafted image building ever could. But here's the truth. Meghan Markle isn't just dealing with bad press. She's dealing with reputation exile. First from the crown, from the very culture she tried to dominate. That's 2 kingdoms, 2 exits, 1 common denominator. The world isn't cruel, Meghan. It's just done being fooled. And as for Tyler, he's not looking back, not tweeting, not reacting. He said what he said, and then he walked away with dignity. And that is the ultimate mic drop.